I'm going to shoot you straight. There are some people who just should not move to Nashville. Today's show, we're going to talk about the things that makes Nashville not be the right place for you. And I want to make it as easy as possible. Tell me, how many places do you find a realtor who will tell you, don't come to Nashville if? I got 10 reasons. 10 reasons that might make you reconsider Nashville. So if that's of interest, check me out on the other side. Hey, I'm Susan Thetford, and today on Nashville Redefined, we're going to talk about the 10 things that I think people really need to consider and to decide whether Nashville might not be the place for them to move to. Don't move to Nashville if, and there are 10 reasons, actually like 12, but I can't count very well. An even dozen or 11, a baker's dozen. No, that's 13, whatever. Got some real reasons for you. And stick around to the end because the very last one is probably the most important one. And of course you knew that, didn't you? You gotta stick around or skip, either way. Number one, if you don't like to drive or you don't want a car, then you might need to rethink Nashville because we are a driving town. We don't have the infrastructure of subways or light rail over or all the things, even a good bus system. We just don't. So you're going to need a car to get from place to place. If you hate driving, then you might need to rethink Nashville. Number two, and I don't really need to belabor this, if you don't have allergies now, or you already have allergies that are really tough in your area, you might need to rethink coming to Nashville because so many people now have allergies who've come from other parts of the country, especially maybe Arizona or some arid places. We have allergies. A lot of people are finding. Now, some people have spring allergies with the spring pollens and the growing trees and the flowers and all the things because we're a four-season place, right? People love us because we're four seasons. With those four seasons come growing seasons and come pollens. So if you're like me, spring and fall are your allergy seasons. You know, there's things you take. And I certainly haven't moved. I'm a native Nashvillian. I'm not about to move. But if you hate allergies, and you don't want to get them, you might want to rethink Nashville, or at the very least, come visit during some peak allergy season. Number three, humidity. We've got it. And we're going to have it, and you can't get away from it. Summertime humidity is really a thing here. Comes with those four seasons. So what you're going to find is mid-June through August can be some really pretty hairy months. And when I mean hairy, I mean whatever your hair does outside of humidity, it's going to do the opposite here. Mine goes flat as flat can be. Some people who have wonderful wavy curly hair, Rosanna Dana. Humidity does yucky things. It's hot. It's awful. But at the same point, we're also over air conditioned. Everywhere has air conditioning. So you're going to need to keep a coat with you or a sweater or some kind of a wrap because air conditioning is over air conditioned and you've got about 2.5 months of crappy hair. That's just the way it is. Sorry, ladies. Fourth reason to don't move to Nashville if you love snow. Now, I say we have four seasons, but we don't have a snow season really. We might get 1 or 2 snows a year. It may last 2 or 3 days max. We probably won't. We won't have a good covering of snow. If you love snow and you're a snow lover, Nashville's not your spot. We will have ice. We will have snow events, which are ice events, maybe with a little bit of snow on top. We will have schools that get out. We will have the mad rush for Kroger to get milk and bread. But we're not going to have a lot of snow. So if you love snow, rethink Nashville. Number 5, reconsider Nashville. Reconsider coming to Nashville if you're perennially watching your weight and you count calories and you're just really dedicated to that. You're going to be missing out on a lot. Southern Living ranked Nashville as the number 4 best foodie place in the country. That's kind of crazy. So taking everything there is about Nashville, we have great farm-to-table restaurants. We have so many different ethnic groups. Southern Living has named us a top foodie city in the country. Take advantage of that. But if weight is your thing and you're super scared about that, you might want to reconsider. Number 6, reconsider moving to Nashville if you hate tourists. Let me give you a list of some of the accolades that we have gotten. Nashville accolades. Number 5, best U.S. destination to visit in 2021. That was the Independence. Best cities in America 2021, Condé Nast. Number 4, I told you about the foodie cities. Top 20 hotels in the South, according to Condé Nast. Best cities for family travel is in the top 10, according to Forbes. Top 50 meeting destinations in the U.S., according to Ovent. We are number 7. Cities for growth startup. Hottest cities for the U.S. job market. Don't move to Nashville if you don't like tourists. Now, let me tell you this. Tourists stay in the places that Nashvillians really don't stay. I mean, we have fun down in Lower Broad, and we have fun in that area when friends come and they force us to take them down there. But we don't spend any time there. The only time we Nashvillians go to the Lower Broad area that you think of as the honky tonks and all the music venues is when we're taking friends, or when we go down to a Predators hockey game, or we go over to the football games. But we're not up and down that Lower Broad with the massive crowds and people walking around in shorts and cowboy boots, and we don't wear cowboy boots, and the cowboy hats, we don't wear those either. Those are tourists. And we don't, for the most part, get in the Bridezilla stuff. That's tourists. But if you hate tourists, you've got 2 choices. Don't come to Nashville, or really, just stay away from the touristy places. Except for Opryland Hotel, you've got to go there because it's beautiful. Just walk around. So pretty. We'll talk about that. Number 7, rethink a move to Nashville if you don't like polite people. If you like to stay in your bubble, if you don't like to talk to people, if you don't want to be talked to, if you don't want someone to look you in the eye when they walk by you on the street, if you are offended when someone opens the door for you, and if you are the first to honk on your horn a quarter second after the light turns green, you're not going to like Nashville. We're polite. And if you do that, somebody might even sit for an extra couple seconds than they meant to. So if you don't like polite people, if you don't like Southern charm, then you might not like it here. We're just going to irritate you. That's okay. That's okay. Find your own spot. That sounded mean. Okay, so here's what I'll say. Bless your heart. Find another place to live. We're polite here, and we want to keep it that way. Hey, finding these helpful. It's really tongue-in-cheek, but it's actually really meant to help you. I'm real when I'm telling you the real thing. So if this is the information that you like, and there's lots more on this show, please go ahead and subscribe right here. That way you'll get notified every time a new show is dropped, and that's every single week. We're going to start visiting every one of the neighborhoods in the Nashville urban core. If that's something you're interested in, you don't want to miss out. So truly, this is something that I am finding. As I said, I've been a realtor here in the Nashville area for over 35 years. I'm a general contractor, now retired. I've grown up here. I've lived here my entire life. And this is the most surprising thing that I'm finding newcomers to the area are telling me about. They're really surprised that Nashville is not cheap. Don't come to Nashville if you think we're cheap. We are no longer a second-tier city. We're considered one of the top-tier cities within the last couple years. We have about 100 people coming a day to Nashville, is what it said. I really think it slowed down some, but I don't have those stats. We are running into a situation like so many places in the country where there's not enough housing for the market. So we're very unbalanced. It's still definitely a seller's market. Things stay on the market approximately 3 to 4 weeks. A balanced market is a 6-month supply of homes. That means it's no longer a buyer or a seller's market. It's pretty evenly matched. Right now, we are definitely a buyer's market. Now, that's not to say we're overpriced, I don't think. Who knows? But we're still at about 104% of the median of home prices throughout the country. And we're a top tier city. So we're nowhere close to places like in California or many places in Austin or New York or Chicago. We're nowhere near their kind of prices. But so many people I'm finding are trying to come to Nashville and take the money that they were able to bring from that equity and hoping to spend half that amount here. You're not going to do it. To get the homes that many people are looking for, it's probably 70-ish%, 70 to 80%, and maybe even a little bit higher than that in some really very focused areas of town. So if you're coming to Nashville thinking, I'm going to come here, it's cheap, I'm going to save all my money, I'm going to have the 5,000 square foot house at $300,000, it isn't going to happen. Also, when people come here and they're thinking, that's wide open spaces, it's all farmland, I want to buy 3 to 5 acres. Unless you're willing to be a good hour and a half out of Nashville, you can't do it. It just isn't doable. I have this conversation with people all the time. You're either going to find a 50s, 60s ranch home that might be on 1 acre to 3 acres. The family's had it. It may or may not be updated. If it's truly updated and in a close-in area like Brentwood or good areas of Nashville, you're talking in the millions for that house. If you're wanting to find something under $500,000 and wanting 1 acre, you are easily going to be 45 minutes from the center of downtown Nashville. It's just a reality that I want people to recognize. We have tons of tiny great towns. It's all a matter of getting your priority list straight. So if you come to Nashville and you think we're cheap or inexpensive, you might need to think again and really do some research. Let me help you with that. So when I'm looking at the cost of living index in Nashville, we are at 101.4% of the national average. It's just a tiny little bit about it. We're the 3rd lowest per capita tax burden in the country. So you not only need to look at the cost of housing, but the tax burden associated with living here, working here. And the median home sale price was $340 in 2020. No, it's really about $360 now. We're at 2021. What you've got is a per capita income has increased 52% since 2009. So what we have is a phenomenal business environment, a great educational environment, good low cost of living, no, not a tax structure that is prohibitive, a great quality of life. We were determined to be the top 10 cities to live in during a pandemic. You know, who knows how many more times we're going to have something like that. We have in the pro athletic sports. We have the 4 seasons. We have so much that people are looking for. Many reasons people are coming here. Industry drivers. We're not only the music city, but that does bring in 32,000 music industry employees a year. Music brings in $16 billion a year into the Nashville. There are over 120 live music venues. Our music business brings in so much money to this thriving economy, and people love the music, but that's one industry. Another industry driver to make our employment so good, so strong, and attracting so many people to come to Nashville. More than half of the for-profit hospitals are managed out of Nashville. Can you imagine how many jobs that brings? Healthcare is now the Nashville SMSA's largest employment. So it's gone out of hospitality and music. 17 publicly traded healthcare companies are based right here in Middle Tennessee. The job opportunity is bringing people also to Nashville. So when I'm telling you this is this, those have risen the cost so much because there's so much competition for very little inventory. Is that going to change anytime soon? I doubt it. Have you heard about Oracle moving here? Have you heard about the Amazon, three now Amazon plants that are here and opening up? So much industry is still coming here and bringing in more development. That's construction industry. I don't think it's going to change any. So if you're thinking you're going to come to Nashville and make a great deal, especially if you're coming from some of the really high housing areas of the country and you're hoping to come here and spend less than half of what you had there, you took away from there to come here, it's not going to happen in all probability, unless you're willing to go very, very rural. And that may be an option for you. Number 9, don't come to Nashville and think you're going to buy a home if you are waiting for a bust. Now, I've just told you about so many of the reasons that I don't think we're in for a bust. by any stretch, because people are not going to just stop coming here, and there's so much pent-up demand. But so many people are considering, I'm going to hold off and wait, and because forbearance, and a lot of people are going to be losing their homes due to foreclosures. Here's what people are not understanding. When we've had over approximately a 20% across the region increase in values over the last 18 months, and the month over month is high as well, that would lead you to think maybe you're ready for a bust and that bubble to burst. I can get that. But here's the problem. There aren't going to be the foreclosures, because when you've had that appreciation of homes, even if I'm in trouble and even if I can't pay my mortgage, rather than get foreclosed on, and frankly, the banks don't want to foreclose anyway. They're not in that business. They learned. But even if I'm about to be foreclosed on, rather than give it back to the bank, hurt my credit for years and years, not walk away with any money whatsoever, I've not seen anything that didn't increase in value over the last 18 to 24 months. So if someone's in trouble and they truly, unfortunately, do need to sell their house or get out from under it, there's that appreciation that's right there. And you know what? Even with commissions and title costs and the things to sell homes, there's still a big cushion right there. Nobody should go into foreclosure. Nobody should go into foreclosure, because it just doesn't make any sense to. They can sell their homes, take whatever profit they can get from it, not hurt their credit badly. And the fact is, we're just not going to have those foreclosures. So what's happening in other parts of the country? I'm not even hearing that. Every area is so short on inventory that the whole concept of having massive foreclosures, unless the whole world falls apart. And again, please tell me, what does your crystal ball say? I don't have a reason to believe that. And I don't think it makes much sense to hold out for waiting for foreclosures to make a move. Okay, so number 10, this might actually be the most important thing there is. If you're moving to Nashville, or you're moving to anywhere in the country from another area, don't move if you just simply won't ask for help. I can't imagine how tough it might be. Now, I've worked with people for years and years, moving out of state, moving to a new city, doing FaceTime videos, buying homes sight unseen. I've done many of those this year, but that's asking for help and asking for advice from a trusted advisor. Look, when I would go to a new area, I need to know, tell me who your best doctors are. Tell me where the best dentists are. Which is the hospitals that you like the best? Let's talk about the schools. Now, I'm not going to tell you the best. In many cases, I can show you where you can find the statistics to do your own research. But we all want to talk to a trusted attorney, maybe you've got wills, you've got trusts. When you're moving to a new area, it's not only about finding a house and finding a job, it's finding all the things that go along with it. And if you're not willing to ask for help, then frankly, you're just setting yourself up to make it much more difficult on you, your family. You know, if you're coming into Nashville and you've got small children and you want to set up preschools, do that months and months in advance. So start doing your research now on finding the best preschools in an area that you think you might want to be. You certainly don't want a preschool up in Mount Juliet when your kids are and you're going to be living in Williamson County. But preschools fill up fast. Kindergartens fill up really fast. Looking at the private schools, doing the things, ask for help of those who either live here, find a Facebook group, find meetup groups within the area before you even move here. Or, you know me, hi, reach out. I'm more than happy to help you. And what I don't know, I'm happy to find out or refer you to someone who does know. Please make it easier on yourself. You have enough to do without trying to do it all on your own. Someone can help you. I can help you. Come up with the step-by-step plan of how to get from there to here and where here might best be a fit for you. If you're the type of person who wants to do it all on yourself, then you know what? Just don't make it so hard on yourself. Stay where you are. Well, no, don't, because you're thinking of moving for a reason. But you know what I mean. Let someone help you. As I said, remember, we're courteous. We're nice here in Nashville. We're happy to help. And you don't have to take my advice, but we're happy to give it. So what do you think? Are those helpful? 10 reasons to not move to Nashville. And Truly, actually, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's kind of not. I want you to love Nashville. I want you to love the community the way I do. I want it to be your forever home. So you got to know some of these things. I'm Susan Thetford. Go ahead and subscribe, and then check out some of these other videos, or I mess this up every time. I think it's over there. Check them out. See you next week.